Welcome back, everybody. We are on part 2 of episode 182. It's time for the hot tags of the week. Some different things that have gone down in the world of professional wrestling that are interesting or odd or funny or stupid or whatever that we felt like talking about. Let's throw out something really fucking just off the wall nuts. Verne Gagne passed away recently. We already talked about that, so we don't need to dive too deep into that. But at his funeral, apparently Bob Backlund stood up and started cutting like a promo. And then there were reports that didn't happen. He actually just said, I'm here to represent WWE and whatever. Then another report came out where it was like, no, he fucking sounded like he was cutting a heel promo. What do you guys think about this? Is this one of those things where like Bob Backlund is so far gone out of it crazy that he's acting like a heel at a goddamn funeral?
To be fair, that guy is kind of
nuts.
batshit insane. Like, when I got my photo taken with him at Night of Champions, he was fucking twitchy and shit. He's weird. And he stiffed me with that fucking chicken wing prick.
Well, it's supposed to hurt.
Yeah, but fuck hurt. I don't like hurt. Hurt's not good for me.
Speaking of chicken wings, how's that chicken coming along, Galen?
Oh, I think it's almost done.
Sweet.
I'm excited.
I am too, even though I'm not going to eat any.
Now, hold on. We have to ask, is it pan-fried or deep-fried?
It's pan-fried.
Oh, okay.
Is it cross-faced?
It's some kind of broccoli cheddar or something. No, it is not cross-faced.
Given the inside jokes here, I'd like to point out that Miguel was disappointed that it was not deep-fried chicken.
Sorry, don't have a deep fryer. Sorry.
So I'm kind of curious what Bob Backlund's heel promo was, basically. Like, if it was just kind of like, Verne Gagne is gone, but I'm still here. I'm going to fucking go to the top and still win the championship. Like, you know, or if he's cutting the Verne Gagne, guy not going to wrestle anymore, that kind of thing. But if this would have been, like, a lot of other people, I wouldn't buy it. But since it's Bob Backlund, I'm totally on board with the idea that he probably did cut a promo.
Also, who wakes up and goes, you know what story I'm going to write to just make people talk? Bob Backlund cutting a heel promo at an AWA promoter's funeral.
Right, like if you're trying to fish for stories, you would go with like somebody's going to make a return, somebody's injured, you know, that kind of stuff like that. Not like, tapping on the pencil on the desk. Let's see, I could write something about The Rock's new movie. I could write something about Ronda Rousey. Or Bob Backlund being a dick at a funeral. Doesn't really match up to me, so I'm buying it. I think it's true. Anybody else want to tag in on this?
I mean, maybe this was some type of like kayfabe thing. I mean, we've heard the stories about how much Verne really was an old school promoter in that regard. So maybe he probably went up to them and be like, "Listen, if I die, you got to still pretend that you hate me. You can't. It's still real to them, damn it. So you got to play along with it."
It's like a clause in his will.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, if it's a kayfabe thing, I'd hate to be at Roman Reigns' family's funeral. They went batshit insane at Mania.
That's true. Let's see here. Hideo Itami has been injured. Man, so Sami Zayn's injured. Hideo Itami's injured. He could be out for several months. It looks like TakeOver is going to be really screwed over. And NXT in general is going to have a little bit of a rough patch there. What do you guys think is happening with this? Is that going to screw up TakeOver a lot? Or is Finn Balor good enough if they just do Finn Balor versus Tyler Breeze and have Finn Balor fight Kevin Owens? Is this going to screw up the tapings at NXT to the point where we can't bring anybody up anytime soon? What do you guys think?
I find it ironic that the pay-per-view is called Unstoppable.
That's true.
Pretty stoppable.
I don't know how it's going to affect things long-term. It's developmental, so we don't need... it doesn't need to be kept with major stars. It's going to live regardless if Sami Zayn and Hideo Itami's gone or not. So I think it might hold people getting moved up the card because there will be a little more dependence on, say, a Finn Balor. So I don't think it's going to hurt NXT too majorly.
I don't particularly care because I'm not a fan of Hideo Itami. I think he's kind of boring, so that's my take on it.
I think in terms of the main event scene, the NXT title, they were never going to do anything major with it. I mean, they're going for the long haul with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, so this is just an arbitrary extension of that. I mean, they'll keep the belt on Owens. He'll blow through the rest of the roster, and eventually, when Zayn comes back, they'll have their big blow-off match. And as far as Itami's concerned, I got to agree with Sean on this one. I I know they want to keep him, bring him up to the roster so they can use him for international tours, but it is what it is with him. I'm neither way. I'm neither a fan nor hate the guy. I just really don't care. I see no real big future for him.
Peyton, I know that you're a fan of Tyler Breeze. Do you think that they should just go with Tyler Breeze winning this title shot as something different?
You could do that, but I mean, you haven't really done much with Tyler Breeze in the past number of months. I mean, if it was just to fill a spot, that's fine. But we're so close to the event at this point. It would be kind of out of nowhere. This isn't like back in the day where it was in your house and it was just month to month, and that's fine. This is supposed to be a 3-month built-up event, so it should be something a little bigger than that. I think Balor and Owens is the match people want right now.
Anybody else want to tag in?
We're saying Tyler Breeze and whatnot, but there are other people they can slot in there. I mean, maybe they'll use this as an opportunity to try out Baron Corbin in that role. I
was actually going to mention that as well.
See what he can do
Hell
about
no, he is so not ready for that. He is green.
Never know.
He is green as goose shit.
Oh god, people want to complain about Roman Reigns.
He really can't work.
He smirks though.
You can't put him in there.
Oh no,
I think it's fucking moronic to put him in there. He would stink up the joint so bad. He's not ready to be a champion, even in developmental.
Oh no, not even close. But the thing is with him, you get easily. Yeah, I know. Like a takeover would be a terrible time to test that theory out, but they could always test that out, mainly on house shows. I mean, Miguel lives close to the area. You never know. Maybe Miguel will go check it out and let us know about it.
I do think having Hideo Itami and Sami Zayn out for injury is kind of a big thing, big bad thing going for them. But Finn Balor's there, so that's good. He's like the top babyface that's not injured now. Because I mean, besides him, who else do they have that's like a big top babyface singles wrestler in NXT?
Alex fucking Riley.
He's injured too.
I'm still
Is Rhino face?
I'm still an advocate for calling Chris Jericho up and bringing him down.
Calling him up to bring him down.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, quite literally.
I think I don't think the plan was ever to have Kevin Owens drop the title this early, so I don't think it really matters that much who he's facing right now because he's going to retain no matter what. But as far as having fresh opponents, as much as I like Tyler Breeze, I don't want to see him going against Kevin Owens. That's not. I don't mind a heel match, but that's not what I want to see right now. So once he's gone through Finn Balor, I'm not sure what they're going to do next with him, but I'm looking forward to seeing whatever they do.
Yeah, I worry about Tyler getting hot shot into the title just because he hasn't had any build to it. It'll feel way too forced. At least with Finn, he's always been around the title picture, so he's an easy person.
Oh, my bad, continue.
Well, there is one guy that we're not thinking about that should be making his NXT debut soon, and I mean, what better way to have him, really make a statement and really show himself off by, getting an instant title shot, or even just a non-title, an exhibition match between him and Kevin Owens, and that's Samoa Joe. That'd be a great way to introduce Joe into the fold. I mean, he should be making his debut soon anyway. Introduce him in that role. Have him. I mean, don't give him the belt.
You been listening to Jason?
Yeah. Salmon monster. I didn't know we had the salmon monster here.
I thought you were talking about Uhaa Nation for a second.
Now that they're face, they could always bring a certain someone back down just for maybe just a little program. They could always bring a Tyson Kidd down again. I think that's just something that could be in their arsenal as well. It depends on what they want to do with Cesaro and Kidd on the main roster going forward.
If we're going to go by standard wrestling booking, then I think the person that should face Kevin Owens is Alex Riley.
But he's injured, so he can't.
He's not injured.
Yeah,
or he should come out injured and fight anyway.
That'd be awesome. And then Kevin Owens could just do 50 power bombs again and be the fuck do you guys think?
We can't risk Sammy wrestling with an injury, but A-Right, yeah, throw him out there.
Yeah, why not? All right, so let's pass on to another hot tag here. El Torito might possibly be splitting away from Los Matadores. They haven't said exactly when or why, or if he's going to go somewhere else, like another tag team, or stay singles, or anything. It's just kind of an idea that's being thrown out there. They might split them up. What would you like to see happen with Torito? Pair him up with Lucha Dragons?
The only Lucha I want to see him in is in Lucha Underground, because it's the only way I'm going to get to see a midget get rattled with a fucking steel chair.
Oh, that sounds like a good fucking idea.
Oh my god, no! That's how you bring up Kevin Owens. You have him apron powerbomb the shit out of El Torito. That will make him like the biggest baby face on the show.
Onto steel chairs.
You can always put El Torito with the primetime players. It makes sense.
Make him powerbomb him on every chair in the arena.
just go one by one.
You know what? That would be
Like
a really cool. That'd be a really cool spot to tell the fans to get out their seat and then just powerbomb a fucking guy onto each and every one. Owens could do that. 2 rows down, people are like, alright, I'm getting sick and tired of this. And he's like, no, we've got sections left, motherfucker. I want this little midget to be dead by the time I get around to it. Yeah, if I was there, though, I'd just be obnoxious and chant Super Dragon. Yet another reason for us to not put any faith in Los Matadores, though. If they lose El Torito, then man, they haven't won like anything ever for the most part. They're gonna be used to put over the Ascension. You're gonna see a bunch of Ascension versus Matadores matches on like Main Event or Superstars or something. That's pretty much their future.
I'd like to see El Torito and some cheese dip, and then eat that shit. You know.
No, I have no idea.
No, I don't.
I could be the furthest from knowing what the hell that's about.
I think he's playing off the word Tostito.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just like, Sean wants to eat a little dwarf. Okay.
Midget. Yeah, well, sure, why not?
He's a midget.
And Drew is the
That makes it any better, yeah.
And apparently, they're supposed to taste like chicken anyways, so...
Update on that chicken?
Let me unmute it here. I'm eating it right now, but I'm trying to not eat it into the mic, Drew.
Yeah.
Drew, Fuck you, Drew. Mean, isn't Miguel that always fucking snarfs down his tacos over the microphone?
Yeah. That's why I made my...
Yeah.
Oh god, this should be a fucked up episode.
Well, it pretty much sums up fucking Tony's Bill Simmons hot tag.
Let's move on to that one. Bill Simmons got fired from ESPN for saying testicular fortitude. Can imagine that being like the reason why you put that on your resume. They're like, so why'd you leave your last job? Well, I said balls. So.
To be fair, that's not the only reason why he's being fired, Tony.
No, but they did specify that that's what pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, well, also, I don't want to get like very specific because this is nothing to do with wrestling. I don't even know why Tony has this as a hot tag.
Because it's a wrestling-related term is why he brought it up, and now the speculation is that WWE might be hiring him for some kind of commentator role.
Then why did you add that to the fucking... That's kind of important, Tony. Oh yeah, this guy's getting fired.
Because we weren't done talking about that subject yet?
They're going to hire him, and then he's going to say testicular fortitude on WWE, and they're going to fire him.
Oh, that's fine. I feel like
that would be great. If like the first time that they bring him on, it's like, welcome to the newest panel on the, the Legends thing or the broadcast team or whatever he would end up being on. Bill Simmons, and he's like, thanks for being here, testicular fortitude.
I don't really see what the big deal is about him saying testicular fortitude when he's been saying damn on WWE for years.
As long as he's not as bad as that Mike Adamle bloke, I'm okay with it.
What is all this clicking?
Oh, we're listening to the old Miguel show right now, I believe.
Still trying to find those diamonds in Minecraft?
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing shit. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. Damn it, Miguel, just sitting there.
Oh, you know what'd be awesome if Drew had a top hat, a mustache, and a fucking eye patch.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That'd kill him.
Only if he had a Dirty Dancing poster.
I'm on it.
Would you guys like to see Bill Simmons on the team, though? Maybe filling the spot that Scott Stanford hasn't really been doing or something?
I still don't know who he is.
He was on WWE like a couple weeks ago. He did guest commentary.
It was a couple weeks ago. It was a while ago.
People don't even remember what happened on Raw this week.
Do you guys remember the guy that was arguing with JBL?
Michael Cole?
Let me pull up a YouTube.
Okay, Steven. He's a white guy who watches wrestling. So it's essentially any guest that they bring on when they go to Los Angeles.
Actually, it was around WrestleMania time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I remember they were in Los Angeles around then.
Yeah,
he doesn't even look like a professional like ESPN sports announcer. He's got
exactly. He doesn't look anything like it.
He's got dad douche written all over him, like 40-year-old just douchey sports dad.
He's a very douchey guy, but I actually like him when it comes to his, I don't know, the way he talks and like the way he like acts. It's really fucking funny sometimes. Well, he actually knows his shit. I don't know how much he dabbles in wrestling, but you've got a history with douchey dads. The ones that had him might as well.
All right, let's move on to another hot take. Holy shit!
Are you glad you defended that one now, Tony?
Yeah, I still think that it's a worthwhile discussion. And if he gets hired, then I called it.
Talk about it.
All right, guys. None of you know who Bill Simmons is. Let's talk about.
Drew knows.
I know. No, that's just because I watch TV and sports. That's the only reason why.
You should do a show about it.
Weekly one. So I'm going to group these two together because they're both basically the same. An 18-month-old child was killed after a 20-year-old guy did a rock bottom and a last ride on the fucking kid. Then there's this 17-year-old who dies in a fight that the media starts declaring is a WWE-style street fight, even though it's just two people fucking punching each other and shit.
Would they have like a stairs match or something?
Right, yeah, that's ridiculous. So there's two stories in the media this week of a young person dying, and one of them is definitely WWE related. The other one, not at all, but WWE gets the shit thrown on them because of this. Obviously, we are, not going to make jokes about the fact that, like, an 18-month-old child was killed and all that other kind of stuff, but on the serious note of this whole thing, how fucking ridiculous is this that not only do people do fucking wrestling moves on kids, but even if you, like, do that kind of thing, and of course WWE will get blamed for that, naturally that's going to happen. Then on the opposite side of the spectrum, WWE gets blamed for just two people fighting each other. Like, punches are WWE-style street fights now. Not UFC, not fucking...
Now, hang on.
Mohammed Nabeel just...
Was this a no-DQ match?
Well, here's the thing. Now, to bring this on a serious note, you see people do stuff like this all the time. I remember growing up, you have a trampoline, me and some friends, we'd always, like wrestle on there, but nothing too serious for the most part. But when it comes to this, you see kids, you see kids play football. I don't know, in a yard they tackle each other. A kid gets seriously hurt. You don't see people blaming the NFL or anything like that for it. It's just, he just got hurt playing football. Now I've seen kids. There was a kid in my town a while back when we were younger. He got paralyzed playing football just in the yard because. Just he collided heads with someone. Just the way that it went, it just just completely just ruined his neck, and he was paralyzed from half of his back down, I believe. So, and no one was like, "Oh, the NFL is such a bad thing." They got the idea from them, which they obviously did, but no one was like that. So the idea of, and I have no idea about this video, but I'm gonna just go by your word, Tony, by saying that if it was blaming WWE for something. Just like two kids punching each other, it makes more sense to blame MMA for something like that, or boxing.
Hey, fuck you!
Something that's actually real. I threw boxing in there as well. I think if it's just two kids punching each other, I don't know what the whole story is, but
it was based off of boxing, one of the kids would have taken a fall.
They would have hugged each other instead.
Yeah, somebody would have just pretended to lay down and just stay down for the 10 count.
I made a lot of fucking money.
But isn't it ridiculous, though, that WWE gets blamed for this kind of things, even though they clearly do the best that they possibly can to tell people, do not try this shit at home. You are not the people responsible for doing this. And,
Supposedly the way the story went was they were just kind of playing, at least in terms of the death aspect of it, the story that I read was that they were playing around on the bed, doing, like, these play moves on him, and the guy actually missed the bed and ended up throwing his kid down on the back of his head onto the floor, which is sad. I mean, it's not like some guy, carelessly throwing their kid around. I mean, my brother does that with his son-in-law. He's 3 years old and they play around like that, but it sounds like it was just a really unfortunate accident that happened. I mean, you shouldn't really do that to an 18-month-old because I get cringed out when I see it when my brother does it on his son-in-law who's 3-year-old. Who's a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
there's a huge difference between those ages.
There is. And
then, of course, there's a big difference between 3 and 10, or 10 and 30.
Right, I'm not justifying this, but I'm saying I don't think WWE deserves the blame because it's not like this was, two guys, one wanting to hurt the other. This was an accident, and it's a really sad, unfortunate thing. And the fact that you have people that are trying to leach out some sort of hate against WWE out of this really is sick. And as far as the actual fight thing is concerned, are we really going to start blaming every YouTube video of people fighting on the WWE? Like, come on, really? That's like blaming the WWE on that. What was that video that came out about a month ago of the two black women fighting in the McDonald's, I think it was called? There was a whole big hoopla about that.
Now, was that a street fight? Or was that some kind of a no DQ match?
That was a McDonald's street fight.
What would they call that? The McDonald's, what's like a McDonald's massacre or something?
No,
like
it would be the mixed street fight.
It would be a hold the DQ match.
The have it your way match. You can bring any weapon to the...
No, it's the White Castle of Fear match.
Wouldn't a DQ match be Dairy Queen?
Yeah, that's true.
Hey.
We say that, but this is a great like promotional opportunity for WWE. You don't think they would do that to get in with a promotional deal with McDonald's?
You know what's so weird about this though is like when people blame WWE, they're doing a thing where it's like submit us your videos to audition for Tough Enough. Not submit us the videos of you doing moves on each other, or submit us the fight that you two had, or anything like that. They're never calling for any of this. So, you can be blamed for like something that's on WWE's product. Like if they had, I don't know, say you come out on Monday Night Raw this week and they start making fun of the Amtrak thing and go, 7 people died, funny, huh? Then yeah, you could be criticized. But if it's just people replicating shit, well, you know what? The Arrow TV show is popular. A lot more people have gotten into shooting fucking bows and arrows recently. If somebody got killed because of that, is it their fault because they decided to do a TV show based off of a comic book that's been around for decades?
No, it'd be WWE's fault, dude. Duh.
No, it would be Ted Nugent's fault. Let's not beat around the bush.
So I just think that that's ridiculous and unfortunate that these people ended up dying for any kind of reason whatsoever, especially the kid, because that's just stupid as fuck. Don't ever do moves on your kid, no matter what age they are. I don't give a shit. But let's take this on a more positive note for the last hot tag here. WWE's Tough Enough, mentioned that a minute ago. They've announced the host, the judges, the trainers, different WWE superstars that are involved in the show. Chris Jericho is going to be hosting. We're going to have a panel of 3 judges that are going to be Hulk Hogan, Daniel Bryan, and Paige. And the trainers on the show are going to be Booker T, Lita, and Billy Gunn. What do you guys think about this group?
Chris Jericho hosting because fuck you, Steve Austin.
Well, actually, Steve Austin's hosting now, so...
Well, no, Steve Austin's not hosting Tough Enough anymore. That's why Chris Jericho's hosting.
Nobody's hosting Dixie Carter on his fucking podcast, so fuck you, WWE.
Is it really, though? It's Dixie Carter.
Hey, she went for a table once.
And she didn't die.
Neither did that old woman who went through that table that one time.
Stunt Granny?
So as far as Tough Enough goes, as far as Tough Enough goes, I've got literally no interest in the program. I'm not a big fan of reality television. I don't like when the UFC does the Ultimate Fighter, and it just doesn't appeal to me. The last time I ever enjoyed Tough Enough was when Triple H was screaming in their faces. And since he doesn't give a fuck about kayfabe anymore, that's never going to happen again.
The last Tough Enough I watched was the one with The Miz. And that was because it was on SmackDown. And that's how much I gave a fuck about it.
I don't think I ever watched Tough Enough.
Stick with the first season and don't bother going any further. Really, that first season's the only credible season. After that, when they decided to give the Tough Enough win to what's-her-face, the valet for the Bashams, I pretty much zoned out after that. As far as the people involved, as far as the trainers, yes to Booker T, yes to Billy Gunn. I guess Lita needs a paycheck, and they couldn't get Trish back, so whatever. Fair
I
enough.
would have thought Mickie James would have been a better choice.
She's involved with TNA at the moment, isn't she? That makes her blacklisted.
Is she?
Yeah. She's still involved with that.
We wouldn't know. None of us here watch it.
Yeah.
But as far as did you mention the panel of judges? Who's going to be on
Hogan, Daniel Bryan, and Paige.
Okay, Daniel Bryan, great idea, especially with his injury. That keeps him in the limelight. I guess Hogan brings some credibility, but really, who gives a shit about what Hogan thinks? I mean, he brings nothing. He's not going to bring any sort of wisdom except for like, all right, brothers, this is how you politic. I'm going to show you every step how to proverbially slit people's throats. Make it to the top, brother. And as far as
one of the greatest showmen of all time is going to bring nothing.
He's got the ability to judge star power, I think.
Does he, or is he just going to say
all
what
right,
the
you're
WWE
missing
tells
the
him
boat
to?
here. They don't learn fuck all at Tough Enough other than the basics of how to take a bump. Everything they're going to learn is going to be in the NXT developmental program.
It's going to be force-fed for them.
This is just about entertainment. It's not about who's going to do a good job, because the reality of it is what they do here on the show is going to amount to absolutely nothing.
Literally, I mean, what faith do we have that any of the people that are going to make it is going to make it to the main roster? I mean, was the last guy that was involved with Tough Enough that made it to anything? I mean, yeah, people bring up Miz and Ryback from the SmackDown season, but
Maven.
Yeah, Maven was the only one. I mean, let's look at the winners. You got Maven from the first season. You got Jackie Gaeta and Linda Miles from the second season, who went on to do much of nothing, except in the case of Jackie Gaeta, expose herself on an episode of Raw.
That's not true. She's banging Charlie Haas.
Good for him, by the way. Third season, I think it was John Morrison? Maybe you could say John Morrison, but that was like years later, and it wasn't even as John Hennigan. It was Johnny Nitro. You know, it took a long time for him to make
got his
it
contract, though.
Okay, fine. I'll give John Morrison that. I missed out on the third season, so I always forget about that. But let's look at the most recent incarnation. I mean, who from that entire roster has made it to anything? Cameron? And she was like, what, the second person eliminated, I believe, from the show?
Very first.
She was the first?
She was the very first.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. So, yeah, it proves my point even more. Nobody remembers Big Andy or, what's his name, the little guy that won second place. They haven't really amounted to much.
Luke?
Was his name Luke?
I think so.
Yeah,
Luke Evans, maybe? Was his name?
Robinson.
Luke Robinson?
Yeah, I don't think he's amounted to much. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen him pop up even in ROH or TNA. And Big Andy, I think, has been relegated to mostly Puerto Rico. So
But there is Martin.
Who?
Martin. He was actually my favorite guy on that season of Tough Enough. Martin. He got injured. I actually thought he was going to win, but he got injured like 4 weeks before the end of it. So he basically got disqualified. But he just signed with Lucha Underground. So maybe we'll be seeing some things happen with him.
Good for him. Good for him.
There's always a chance that people could end up coming out of this. That's why I think, especially with like the way that they've been emphasizing the Performance Center and NXT and stuff, they're focusing a lot more on developmental than they've ever done before. So
which again, why have Tough Enough? I mean, what's the point of Tough Enough if the developmental system is going off on all fours? I mean,
well, it's to try to get more interest in WWE by doing another show. I mean, why have another DVD based off of the career of people that we've already seen DVDs of and stuff? Like, we've already seen there's 100 shows on the WWE network that are old footage and stuff, and they still keep doing those. Why not do a Tough Enough thing? It's a little bit different. You get to have people in the developmental thing that aren't coming from the wrestling background and stuff, and why not? If we got Total Divas and they want to do more stuff like that, we could definitely do Tough Enough.
Am I the only one who finds it weird that the women are doing Tough Enough when they got the Diva search?
Oh, that's what I was going to mention. The fucking Diva search, man. That's, you know what? I'll put the Tough Enough one step above the Diva search because that's going to be embarrassing.
How is that fair? The men get one show, but the women get 2 shows to go on show their craft.
Hey, but they're not being given a chance, right?
The men have their own show to show their craft too. It's called Raw.
I think that's a good way to end off this set of hot tags. Everybody, tell us what you think of all these different subjects in the comments below. If you agree or disagree with our opinions, or just have something else you want to say, or some other jokes you want to make, or whatever like that. We are going to take a break here with the rest hold, and we're going to come back and start going through all of our predictions for Payback. Stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back.